Hey everyone, I haven't done a cooking video in such a long time, so I thought it was about time to do a new one. And I wanted to make something that takes technically a long time, but if you have the right kitchen equipment, it can be done in under an hour. There are two things in my kitchen that I cannot live without anymore, and that's my Instant Pot and my air fryer. So today we're gonna be making ribs and then take it one step further and make it into a RibWhich. You know that I like to take fast food recipes and make them my own. I have never had a McRib, so this is my own version of it without ever having had one. So this is not gonna be labeled a McDonald's rib sandwich. It's just my own rib sandwich. This is also just a great, quick and convenient way to cook ribs. So if you don't want to make it into a sandwich, you don't have to. So let's start out with our rub. I have here 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of chili, because we like it a little bit spicy, a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of paprika. I like using Hungarian paprika, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And if you want to elevate the spice a little bit more, you can use a quarter of cayenne pepper, but we're gonna get that extra punch from my favorite barbecue sauce that I will show you later. We're just gonna dump all of this into the bowl. Boop, and mix it together with a whisk. I got here a gorgeous 2-pound piece of pork back ribs that we will be using. They were split in half in the store. It might be easier to use one solid piece for the cooking method that we're using, but this is what I got. And then we'll just put the rub all over it and rub it on. It's not a bad idea to put the rub on ahead of time before cooking and kind of let the spices marinate into the meat, but you don't necessarily have to, because the spices really do the job just as. Get it all over both sides. I find that when you cook ribs in an Instant Pot, you don't have to worry too much about over seasoning the meat, because we're gonna put them kind of standing up, so the excess will drip off in a way, get into the liquid, and the liquid will evaporate and infuse the meat while it cooks. So into the Instant Pot, we're gonna put this little rivet, a cup of water, almost a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar, and then half a teaspoon of your favorite liquid smoke. And then we're gonna simply place the ribs standing up, wrap them around into the basket so they would go like this into the Instant Pot. I like to use the thicker side facing down. It just is sturdier that way. And then we place the lid on. Make sure it's sealed. So the cooking settings for the ribs, since I am going to be making my RibWhiches, I am gonna cook them slightly longer because that way it falls more easily off the bone. But if you're looking to just make simple ribs, you would cook them on manual for 23 minutes to 25 minutes. I am gonna cook these for 30 minutes on high to get that fall off the bone effect. There we go. And while the ribs cook, we're just gonna do a little bit of cleaning. After the cooking time is done and we've allowed the pressure to release naturally for 5 minutes, it's time to let it all vent out. You can put a dish towel over the vent to avoid any splattering if you're worried. And we just need to wait for the pin to drop. There we go. So since we gave the ribs a little bit of extra cooking time because we wanted them to fall off the bone, you have to be a little bit careful when you pick them up, because in our next step, we're gonna brush them with our favorite barbecue sauce, and then we're gonna broil them for a little bit in the oven. When I'm cooking a full rack of ribs, I use 2 tongs, but since it's been split in half, I think I can get away with using just 1 tongue. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just gonna place it on a baking sheet that has been lined with aluminum foil. You can also use parchment paper. It smells so freaking good in here right now. Oh, hello. Hi, Bill. Someone is looking for a taste. So you remember I said earlier, if you wanted an extra spice kick for your ribs, you could add a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. But we decided not to do that because we'll be using my favorite barbecue sauce, Blazing Chipotle. So I've set the oven on high broil, and it's just gonna need a couple of minutes. Keep a close eye on it because you do not want to let that broiling get out of hand. And we're just gonna brush the ribs with the barbecue sauce. You know that I like things being saucy, so I put a generous amount of barbecue sauce on there. And just to be safe, I'll do it on both sides of the ribs. Flip them over and place them in a broiler for 2 minutes. 2 minutes at most, I think. The barbecue sauce has broiled onto the ribs and it's looking absolutely delicious. We're just gonna transfer them to the cutting board for our next step. So this next step can be a little bit tricky because we don't want the ribs to be overcooked, but we want them cooked enough that you can remove the bones. So just grab a little knife and that will assist you to get the bones out. Just cut on top of the bones and use the blunt end to push away the meat. Now that we have our ribs deboned, it's time to plate up. I have my fries. I have this Heinz aioli that I'm trying for the first time. I love aioli. I love mayo. I love garlic, so I'm excited to try it. And I have these delicious sesame brioche buns. So you know that I like things saucy. So I do add a little bit more of my Blazing Chipotle barbecue sauce, then your favorite coleslaw, and then we just need the right size of boneless back ribs, and sandwich pickles. Pickles. And there we go, my RibWhich. Let's dig in. So let's try this aioli first. It's good aioli. It's roasted garlic aioli. It tastes really good. But now for the main event. Oh, perfection. Perfection. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to see more of my recipes, please sound off in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And my social media. Hit me up on my social media. I have all of them, and I'm trying my best to be on all of them, doing different kind of dumb stuff. I'll see you next time. Bye.